Hey there. This is Jerry B, and I just wanted to come on and share some information. I am Jerry B, the creative community connector and author of Managing Multiple Children. And so, of course, we are all experiencing a really interesting time right now, really interesting season. And so, I wanted to share some information, really want to reach out to parents and just share some things that has been beneficial for my household. I am a mother of six. I am familiar with homeschooling. We have homeschooled in different seasons of our lives. My children right now are middle school, high school, and young adult. But we did homeschool at the primary stage, elementary as well. So I just really have been pressed and concerned about some of the things that I've seen on social media from Facebook friends and Instagram, and really want to help parents manage and adjust to this season that we're all in, as far as just managing and coping with your stress and anxiety levels, so that your children can manage their stress and anxiety levels, and the dynamic of the household can be peaceful and healthy and conducive for learning for everyone. So that is the purpose of me going live today. And I know that many of you have experienced homeschool for the first time in this past week and probably felt very bombarded by this adjustment and may not have had the most productive week. What I want to do is share again some management systems, some management tips that have helped me manage homeschool and my household, my six, along with three others. At one point, I did homeschool and manage a homeschool co op where I had 9 to 10 children at one time. So it's possible. Um, and I'm not a teacher. I am a parent. I am a mom. I am someone who was, wanting to give my children an opportunity to, uh, have an alternative way of learning. And so I'm not a certified teacher in any way. I am a certified mom. I have a degree in life and a degree in, really art. But again, my children being middle school, high school, and young adult, it's interesting how they can confirm a thing as they get older and they come back to you and say, thank you for how you brought us up. Thank you for when parents, my husband and I, decided to do when they were very young and are still doing. We have a 13 and a 16-year-old who have been impacted by this recent shift in society as far as schooling at home and everything. My 13-year-old was already homeschooling, but my 16-year-old, who was dual enrollment at a college and high school, has adjusted to the online learning that was transitioned last week. So, anywho, again, I'm Jerry B. And so, this video, I want to address some things that may help, regardless of where you are in your parenting. If you have toddlers, if you have elementary, middle school, high school, college, I want to make sure that I address and give tips and systems that will help at whatever age you're dealing with, and if you have a combination of ages. All right. So, and feel free, if I don't address something that is specific to your household, feel free to reach out to me. Every household is different. I think that's one thing we all need to understand. Every household is different. Every personality is different. And so, what I say for you, you may have to adjust, or you may have to really consider what that looks like for your household. But again, I hope you get something. I hope something is helpful for your household before the end of this video. So one thing I want to share is to create a day. So again, if you've experienced schooling at home for the first time in this past week, you may now be at Friday thinking, what was that? and thinking we cannot do this week again next week. So this weekend, take some time to create the day. Pull out a piece of paper, a piece of notebook paper, journal, whatever, and kind of write out what the structure of the day should look like based on your household. What's the roundabout time that everybody is awake, or what time would you like to start the day? So whether that be 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. And don't think about starting the day just for learning, but starting the day as far as, when do the kids wake up? When do you wake up? So think about all those things and really write it out, and block out some times for that. So if the kids are getting up at 8 to wake up, wash up, shower, brush their teeth, and things of that nature, make sure that is on the schedule as you create the day, as well as your own wake up time. So I would suggest for any parent, that if you are, waking your kids up at one point, that you get up 30 minutes to an hour before they do, just so you have an opportunity to take a breath, to collect your thoughts, to prepare yourself for the day so that you can prepare an environment for them as well. It does not help us to all be waking up at the same time. And I'm sitting outside. So if y'all see me waving, that's because I have outside elements joining me in this video. But so just keep that in mind, that you want to make sure you create a day that you wake up 30 minutes to an hour, maybe even an hour and a half, just depending on what your wake up regimen is, before you get the kids up. The delight in schooling at home is that you can stay in pajamas, or you can wear lounge clothes, change into lounge clothes, whatever you think the dynamic needs to be. But go ahead and give yourself some time to get up and prepare yourself, and then set a time for the kids to wake up as well. When you're creating that day, keep in mind all of what it looks like as far as that wake up time, whether that's 30 minutes or an hour. But give the kids time to wake up, to wash up, to shower, to brush their teeth, to get something to eat, and all of that. All of that should be included in the wake up time. And then you want to transition to learning time, or recreation, or group time. Sometimes what I would suggest, if you do have children of different ages and different grade levels, you may want to consider doing a group time in the morning after everyone has, gotten themselves together, gotten something to eat. Collect everyone in a group environment, the living room or wherever that great room is, and kind of have a collective introduction to the day, whether that is through prayer, or through reflection, or through setting goals, and really give the kids an opportunity to create goals for themselves and what they would like to accomplish out of the day. Make it a team effort, and be transparent. A lot of times, I'm sure some parents have experienced just kind of taking this on, like, okay, I'm going to do this. And you become so militant about it that you're no longer their mother or their father. And they are looking at, like, who is this person? So be transparent, be very open with your children in this time. Let them know it's an adjustment for us all. We're going to get through this together. How are you feeling? I definitely suggest that you do feelings checks. Do some check-ins throughout the day with yourself and with your children to see how they're feeling, and how the environment of the household is. It really helps to stay open with your communication and transparent with this whole process, because again, we're all adjusting, and the kids need to know that you're all adjusting, and give them the license to express where they are with the adjustments as well. Don't be offended as parents if your children say, I miss school, I miss my teacher. That's a compliment to the teacher. That's a compliment to the school. That is not an offense to you. It shouldn't be taken that way. And so again, we don't want to create high stress moments. We don't want to create frustrating moments. So just make sure you're paying very close attention to how your children are adjusting and what it's doing to you. Because again, as parents, if we express our stress and anxiety in a frustrating way, we're pretty much teaching our children to do the same thing. And so when we have our meltdowns as adults, and we scream and rant and rave, we're having a adult tantrum, really, and we can't really fault our children for having tantrums when they have their moments of high emotion. So we want to keep in mind that everything we do as parents is a teaching moment for our children. So keep that in mind as you are navigating through this season and managing the household. So again, create the day. Think about some other components that you can add to the day. It doesn't have to be, 8 hours of learning. You want to have some learning time, but you want to give time for creativity, recreation, meals. I always say that schooling at home is the best time to reintroduce home economics, which is no longer, accessible in the public school system, for most public school systems. But home economics, just the fact of going through and spending some time on the personal hygiene in the morning is a learning opportunity, and it's schooling at home. They're still learning. So everything doesn't have to be about the books or about the learning websites. Use every opportunity, use every component of the day to be a learning opportunity. And just take that time to really get to know your child, where they are in this season and how they, manage and adjust. And some of those things that you haven't been able to spend time on, ironing could be a part of home economics. There are many parents who, up to this point have ironed their children's clothes and outfits for the week, to make sure that everyone was ready for those early mornings, getting ready for school and getting to the bus stop. Well, now that you're schooling at home, this may be a prime opportunity to teach them how to iron their own clothes or laundry or any of those other things that on a regular may have been a duty of the parent, especially if you have young children. Young children can help with laundry too. Ask my children. You can use all these opportunities to laugh and engage with each other and keep the environment healthy and happy and joyful, and just an adventure. Make it an adventure and make it fun. So creative time could be art, it could be music, it could be creative writing, it could be building, with building blocks and things of that nature. Again, all depending on the age and grade range of your children, that may look different. I apologize for that. That may look different, but definitely allow the creative space, and make sure that that is a part of your create the day layout, for creative time. Physical education. So if you have a dog, we have a dog, walking the dog, or, being in the backyard, jumping rope, kicking the ball around, all of that could line up under physical education, but make sure they have a outlet for the energy. Because we have been quarantined to our homes, your home includes your yard and your deck and your patio and the spaces around your home. So don't be so stuck about being inside your home that you don't allow for that time of being in the sunshine. If you're having good weather in your area, enjoy the sunshine, be out on your decks, in your backyards, your front yards, your porches, wherever. Make sure you're getting some fresh air. Open your windows. Make sure you have fresh air circulating throughout your home if the weather permits, because it's just good. It's good for our health. It's good for our minds, our bodies, our spirits, our souls. So make sure to add nature to the day, whether that's through recreation and then just throughout the day. As Another thing could be gardening. That could go into recreation if you have a garden or if you're considering a garden. This may be an opportune time to do that as a family, with the seeds that are already out there, with the dirt that's already out there, prepare a patch or what have you, and just really think of some things that you guys can do together, as well as some things that they can start doing and building their independence as little people. Little people. They are little people. Let's think of them that way as well. A lot of times when we have them in this category of children, we don't give them the opportunity to grow and to learn and to, again, build on their independence. So don't take it all on, parents. Use this as an opportunity to build your little people. All right. And then another thing, if you think about schooling and you think about some of the things that they may be used to, they very well may be used to a bell system. In most public schools, there is a, some type of sound alarm system that gets them through the day and transitions them from one thing to the next. So keep that in mind when you are transitioning from your create the day. When you give an hour for wake up and hygiene, then there needs to be a bell, an alarm that goes off to let everybody know it's time to transition to the next thing. And so, how do we get a bell system? We have our cell phones. We have alarm clocks. We have our computers. Most things we have around us, technology wise, can allow us the opportunity to set alarms. And those alarms can sound like school bells or whatever type of notification you want to use, but definitely use it to transition the entire household. So if you're going from your wake up time to now we're in group time, use that, set an alarm for 8 o'clock or 7:50. And I always give a transition time. I remember when I was in school, in my earlier years, there was a bell. Okay, I'm in nature, you guys. I have to let them do what they do. I have to let nature have its way. But there were bells, and then there were warning bells. So I used that with my children as well. So there would be, if we were transitioning, and I'm giving you an example, if we were transitioning from wake up time to learning time, which started at 8:30, then there would be one alarm that went off at 8:20 to let them know, okay, we need to start transitioning. And then at 8:30 was the final notification where they needed to be set up and transition to that next space or that next block in our schedule. So allow yourself the bell system structure to, help all of you guide and make it through the day, and stay on on task with how you want to move through the day. So that's for lunchtime. A lot of times, and it causes stress, it causes anxiety when we look up and we've lost track of time, and it's like, oh my God, we're, 15 minutes past lunchtime or whatever, and then you're scrambling, and it really causes just a high anxiety moment that can be frustrating for you, can be frustrating for the kids, because again, all of our energy, they pick up on it. We're all in the household, so it just really just causes chaos that we can manage and we can adjust if we just put some systems in place. And so the bell system, the alarm system, is definitely something that can help. On my cell phone, and I'm saying cell phone, but again, that could be any mobile device where you have an online timer or alarm clock system or anything like that. But you can create, more than one alarm. So again, if you have it blocked out in your day on your create the day that you have come up with, if you have 9 a.m. learning and then 11:30 we break for lunch, then you can set two different alarms. You can set 6 alarms if you need to, just to get you all through the day. And so make sure you give a transition time so that if it's going off at 11:20, then they know whatever they're working on, you have 10 minutes to complete it. And then at 11:30, that final transition into lunch or whatever that next component may be. And so I'll make sure to say again and repeat what those components I'm suggesting be a part of your day. But the bell system is really helpful. And again, you can use timers, alarm clocks. If you don't want to use any of those, you can go to a website and use the online timer, the online alarm clock website that's out there on Google. So there's all types of ways to set the alarms. Of course, if you have middle school or high school children, you can hold them accountable to setting their own alarms. Let them be a part of creating their day. So again, when you have elementary, you may have to structure their day for them. But for middle school, high school, college, I definitely suggest that you sit with them, give them the opportunity to create the day, and then guide them or make any type of adjustments that need to be made. If you feel like they've given themselves too much time for recreation or too much time to surf the internet and not enough learning time, then make the appropriate adjustments, but let them be a part of the process, because again, we are building and creating little people, young adults. We want them to be productive and be able to do these things on their own as they get older. So the only way to do that is to teach them how now. We can't make every decision for them, especially as middle school, high school, and of course, college age and young adult. So timers, alarm clocks, bell system. All right. And then, of course, you want to set an atmosphere. So I'm really big on setting atmospheres. My children, can share their stories about it. But whatever that atmosphere looks like for you, one thing that was a rule during our homeschool environment was that they could play music. If it was the group environment, when we were doing like classroom time and we were all in the same space, I would dictate what the music was going to be, and usually it was creative music. And so what I mean by creative is classical music or instrumental. I don't even know what else to say. Instrumental creative music, but no vocals, because a lot of time vocals and lyrics will distract. You'll find your child singing when they should be reading and things like that. So I definitely suggest instrumental music. Orchestra, classical music is just one that is very stimulating for a learning environment. So I highly recommend instrumental, classical, orchestra, stringed type music, but it's totally up to you, whatever you would want to do to set that atmosphere. But music is great to add to a conducive learning environment. And then, of course, for your teenagers and everything, feel free to let them select their music, but it needs to be something that you can hear, and it needs to not be lyrics. And that has always been, a conversation as my kids have gotten older. And of course, if they can prove to you, and it may be a trial and error, if they can prove to you that they can play music with lyrics and get their learning done, then okay. But again, I suggest instrumental. Your teenagers may want to offer another suggestion for what works best for them. So that's fine. Offer them a trial and error session of one day to see if their music or whatever they would like to select to listen to, if it allows them to be as productive. If they can still complete their task with their choice of music, then so be it. But every child, every household is going to be a case by case situation. So again, laugh about it. Don't get frustrated about it. Just hold each other accountable to whatever the plan is going to be, whatever the day is going to look like. Hold each other accountable, and don't get offended. Just don't get offended. If your teenagers pull you to the carpet and say, "Mom, but you said I could," and it's like, "Oh, I did. Okay, today we'll do it that way." But go with the flow and keep it light. Keep it light. It'll help everybody. So setting the atmosphere, another part of the day for my household and homeschooling, prayer, reflection, again, to just start the day, make sure everybody's head is in the right place, clarity of mind, reflection time, communication time, allowing them to say how they're feeling, things of that nature. So I definitely feel like that is a great, healthy way to start the day and allow your kids to communicate where they are and how they're feeling. If you are a family of faith, if you do believe in prayer and things of that nature, don't just allow it to be your voice that they hear. Definitely think it's healthy for children to hear their parents praying or reflecting and sharing, but also give your children an opportunity to pray and reflect and communicate and set the day as well. So definitely do it as a family to create that atmosphere and set the atmosphere for the day. All right. And you may have to reference it throughout the day. And then, of course, I think I've said this throughout the video, but, be flexible, be ready to adjust. It's great for us to have structures. It's great for us to create the day and have, a skeleton to reference. But we cannot control the unexpected, just like last week when we were all told that schools were closing and we had to now homeschool. So, as the changes happen, as the adjustments need to happen, go with the flow, take a breath, everybody breathe. Bring your kids together and just let them know, all right, we're going to shift again. We're going to do this differently tomorrow. And just know that every day does not have to look the same, that whatever the pause may need to be throughout the day, if your child is having an emotional meltdown or can't understand a subject or a topic, transition to something that's easier for them to understand and come back to it. One thing to make sure you keep in mind is that the best time, the most effective time to learn is in the mornings. So if they have some difficult subjects, try to do the difficult subjects right after that morning reflection time. Get those out of the way and communicate to your child. Let's get those out of the way, and then they can move on to some of those things that that are easier for them to flow through. So again, the dynamic will be different for every child, for every household, but you can do this. You don't have to be a certified teacher. You can do this. And I'm sure there are a lot of schools that are still providing teacher support. So reach out to your teachers if you need to, especially if it's concepts that you're not understanding. But you have the opportunity to control the environment, to manage the environment within your household. It does not have to be exactly how the school does it. It has to be how you guys do it in your household. So keep that in mind. You do not have to mirror what their school experience is. You just have to give them the experience that you have to offer. All right. And learning again happens with every component of the day. So it's not just about the books and the papers, but it's about, having them in the kitchen when you are preparing breakfast or preparing lunch, and even designating, again, if you have middle school and high school and college, designating, a schedule for that. Maybe the middle schooler prepares lunch on Monday and the high schooler prepares lunch on Tuesday, or whatever that looks like. Share the load for the children who are capable of taking on some of those tasks. And again, that's where home economics comes in. They need to know how to prepare meals. They need to know how to do laundry and iron clothes and, all of those great things that, sometimes don't happen until the weekend. And now it can be, a part of every day because everybody's home. So great. We'll all just do it. And we'll take turns and we'll tag team and we'll create assembly lines. I was really big because we have such a large family. We would do, the laundry would be massive all the time. And folding, everybody was folding something. The little kids were folding like the washcloths because it's, 1, 2 folds, and, matching up the socks. Everybody can do something. So again, do not overwhelm yourself as parents. Make it fun, keep it peaceful, keep your composure. And if you do have a moment of frustration, step away, pray, reflect, collect yourself, so that you can be the best you can be for your children. And so the environment can be as healthy as possible and conducive as possible for learning to get everybody through the day. So I hope this has been helpful. Again, if I left something out, or if you have questions, if you need any type of layouts or worksheets for the Create the Day schedule or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. I'll make sure to add my contact information in the description of the video. But again, I have just really been pressed to share the information that I know has been helpful with the seasons that we have homeschooled and what has worked for my 6 children. I even share this same information with our oldest, who now has children of his own. And so again, do what works for you. Pull the information that you think will be helpful for your family. I definitely hope something in this video will be helpful. And again, I am available. We're kind of all available at this point because we have time, but feel free to reach out. You don't have to do this alone. There are plenty of homeschool co-ops and homeschool groups online and things of that nature to ask questions. Again, I am experienced in homeschool, all ages. I have 6 children, and so all ages, toddler, pre-K, not now, but I'm just saying, at one point, I have homeschooled at all levels. I am happy to say that my 6 children are middle school, high school, and young adult now. But over the years, I have homeschooled and experienced homeschool at every level. So if you have questions adjusting and managing the dynamic of your household, feel free to reach out. Again, I hope this has been helpful. I am Jerri B, the creative community connector and author of Managing Multiple Children by a Mother of Six. Thanks for chiming in. Feel free to share the video and reach out if you need to. You can do this. Keep breathing, keep smiling, and laugh a little. All right. Bye bye.